you, I just want to take a few moments and speak to you on something that is near and dear to my heart. I am passionate about leadership and mentoring because I understand firsthand, experientially, the impact that great leaders make in life. It was early on in my career, I was a drill instructor, and I had a set of leaders, two in particular, who absolutely and completely operated in excellence. And they expected and demanded the same thing from me. I mean, they saw what I was really not trying to show them, and they heard what I wasn't saying to them. Their belief in me and their high standards they set for me absolutely and literally changed the trajectory of my career and my life. But that's the whole point, because that's what a real mentor does. A mentor will pierce the very fabric of the individual and impact down to the DNA level. That's what real leadership is about. And so I stand before you today as a product of excellent leadership. So I'm not talking about anything I've read or studied. I lived and am the recipient of someone who made an investment in me. If God has given you any level of influence or the privilege of leading in any capacity, it's time to get serious about making an investment. Because when leaders stop at the surface level of an individual, we miss too much. Too much is lost. We've got to be able to look beyond the person that is standing in front of you. Because it is not always going to be a nice, tight, squared away, locked on package that's stepping in front of you. Even all of us here, we chose the Navy or the Marine Corps. We chose our civilian career path for a whole host of different reasons. And some of us actually are still trying to figure this thing out called life. We're just still trying to figure out this culture of the military that we've chosen to live in. This I do know. Behind every smile, there's a story. And just like any good, juicy novel, there are slips and dips, and there's some falls and close calls. There are dark times, there are failures in those stories. And if we stop too soon, they won't know that you can get past the dark times. They've got to know that every winter is followed by a spring. If you just hang in there, if you just stick it out long enough and have somebody walk through that thing with you. Even today, in all my cuteness I got going on, all my cuteness, all this, I've got a story. And my story includes some missteps and mistakes and bad decisions and regrets. The difference was I had someone investing in me, and they would not stop right there at that surface. They looked beyond the mistake I had just made. And so I'm encouraging you, as if you have any sense of leadership, that we've got to look beyond into what they can become. We've got to imagine what they can do. It is our responsibility that we believe in them enough that they can turn this thing around. Because if we trust them enough to challenge them with high expectations, they don't go, you got to come, you got to bring it better than that, because there's more in you. I'm expecting more from you. If we raise the bar, if we love them enough, if we value them enough to call them on right behavior and check them on piss poor decision-making skills, if we do that, we literally can change the trajectory of a life. I know that. So if you have anyone that you see has reached any level of success, I would submit to you that they didn't do that on their own. The speakers who came up here today, those who lead the lean-in circles, those sitting among you, there are no solo routines in success. Everybody is standing on the shoulders of someone else. We don't do this thing alone. And so, as a community of investors, we've got to lean in. Talking about Sheryl Sandberg, we've got to lean in and make sure that this diverse group of investors does just that. There is strength in diversity. Diversity of thought, diversity of experiences, cultural, linguistic diversities that come to play. And when it's done well, when it's done well, it makes for a strong team and a stronger institution. Navy, Marine Corps, civilian Marine, it makes for a stronger institution. So, my name is not Pollyanna, and I do not live at Disneyland. I just really understand the impact that you make in a life when you invest. Just by show of hands, if you have anyone in your life, anyone who you respect enough and you love enough, they pull the very best from you. They demand excellence and you want to please them. Anybody got anyone in your life like that? Okay, most people. I'm hopeful. R.P.T. Jones. You don't have to go into detail. Just give me one or two words that describes that person that was in your mind. What made you want to pull the very best? What was it about them? What is it about them?
I would have to say it was how strong their faith was for using God.
Okay, so the strong faith in God makes her want to do right. Captain Harvey, one or two words to describe the person that you look up to. Committed and loving. See, what you're hearing, if I were to go around and ask that same question to everyone, I would get different impacts, different investments that have been made in these people. Because if I wanted to flip the switch and go negative, I could do that as well. Anybody got any haters out there? Anybody got any people that you know are waiting to watch you fall and fail? Okay, so it is about making a deliberate and intentional decision to invest in people. That's what it's about. And so, as I leave you, I just want to issue you a challenge. And I'm talking to everybody in the room. I'm issuing you a challenge to take the time to stretch yourself and extend yourself to make an investment. Because if done well, if we do this thing well, the return on your investment will be incalculable. Incalculable. It's like those old MasterCard commercials. An unexpected thinking of you card, $2.43. Lunch for two, $15.73. The impact on a life, priceless. Priceless. So that is my time. I look forward to working with those in my circle, and thank you.